An Olympic Moment, a profile by Bud Greenspan. It was perhaps fitting that Canada's 29-year-old Gaetan Boucher would skate in his last Olympic race before a home crowd in the 1988 Calgary Olympic Games. He was already a Canadian national hero, the finest speed skater the country had ever produced. With his whole nation watching, he would be attempting to defend the 1500-meter championship that he'd won 4 years before in Sarajevo. At 17, Boucher had begun his Olympic career at the 1976 Innisbrook Games, where he failed to win any medals. 4 years later, in Lake Placid, with the luck of the draw in the 1,000-meter race, paired him with America's Eric Heiden. Heiden would make Olympic history by winning 5 gold medals in 5 individual events. Heiden was the hero of the game, said Boucher. I had little chance to beat him, but I decided I would do my best, and maybe something good would happen. Something good did happen. Heiden defeated Boucher by 1.5 seconds, but their heat was so fast that Boucher ended up with a silver medal after all the pairs had raced. With Heiden retiring after the 1980 Lake Placid Games, Boucher was given a good chance to stand on the top step of the awards podium in Sarajevo. Even before the games began, he was given the honor of carrying the Canadian flag into the stadium during the opening ceremonies. People were saying that the last 2 Olympics, the person who carried the flag on opening day didn't do very well, said Boucher with a smile. But I had a lot of confidence in 1984, and I wanted to prove that carrying the flag doesn't mean you can't win. Boucher finished 3rd in the 500-meter race and now had a bronze to go with a silver of 4 years before. 4 days later, in the 1,000-meter event, he was superb. He defeated his nearest competitor by almost a second to win the gold medal. He immediately called his parents. The first words he said to me on the phone were, "I got your gold medal," Cyrus Boucher, Galen's father, said with a laugh. We had a joke within the family. I told Gaetan that the first gold medal he won would be mine. The next one would be his. 2 days later, Gaetan Boucher made Canadian Olympic history by winning the 1,500-meter race. He became the first Canadian Winter Olympian to win 2 gold medals. His total of 4 medals was also the largest number ever won by a Canadian athlete. At 6 p.m. on February 20th, 1988, at the Calgary Speed Skating Oval, 29-year-old Boucher made the final preparations for a start in the 1,500-meter event, his last race in a career that spanned 4 Olympic Games. 40 of the fastest skaters in the world would compete in pairs, 2 men against each other and against a clock. For the first time in Olympic history, the Speed Skating Championships would be held indoors. The new 400-meter Calgary Oval was the fastest in the world, and the records were expected to fall in nearly every event. Boucher drew 15 of 20 pairs. The fact had particular significance. All the other favorites in the race drew earlier pairs. Boucher would know in advance how fast a time he would have to skate to win. The strength of the opposition became clear when the first pair skated, where Eric Flaman of the United States shattered the world record. This new record lasted less than 8 minutes. In the third pair, Andre Hoffmann of East Germany broke Flame's record by 6/100ths of a second. Hoffmann's world record time held up as pair after pair competed. Finally, it was time for Gaetan Boucher's final Olympic appearance. Boucher went after the world record from the start. After 300 meters, his time was fast at a ball. Nearing the halfway mark, he was still in the lead, but he was struggling. The home crowd urged considerably. As Boucher struggled valiantly in the last lap before the finish, his father shouted at him from the stands, "Go, Gaetan!" As Gaetan moved towards the finish line, Cyrus Boucher looked at the clock. He stopped cheering and slowly sat down, tears streaming down his face. As he crossed the finish line, Gaetan Boucher slowly circled the track. His time placed him in 9th, but the thousands of fans stood to give him an ovation usually reserved for the winner. They knew that Gaetan Boucher had done his best, honoring the age-old philosophy that has sent Olympians into the arenas for centuries. Ask not alone for victory, ask for courage. For if you can endure, you bring honor to yourself. Even more, you bring honor to us all.